Tomorrow I have a wedding gig, so I thought that today might be a good opportunity to talk about charts. Now, I posted a video a while back about learning 25 songs in 24 hours or 48 hours or something like that. I had to learn quite a few songs in a fairly short amount of time. And in those situations, I almost always have to rely on charts. And I did get a couple of questions on that video asking, like, what's your process for making charts? So I figured this would be a good opportunity to dive a little bit deeper into that. So today I want to talk about the difference between sheet music and charts, some methods that you can use to create your own charts. And then I actually want to go through the process with the song and show you making a chart and then actually using it to play the song in a short amount of time. So first of all, the differences between using sheet music and using charts. Sheet music, in my mind, is very explicit and is basically telling you verbatim what you are going to play. So if I'm playing in like concert band or in an orchestra, I'm probably playing off of sheet music, which is very specific about what I should play, and it has every single measure and every single note notated. On the other hand, a chart can take many different forms and is basically a guideline. It is helping jog your memory and is helping you remember the form and some of the important pieces of a song, but it isn't necessarily telling you everything. Similarly, when I'm making charts for myself for either pop tunes or rock tunes or whatever it might be on drums, I'm really just trying to give myself the minimum amount of information to remember how to play that song. This wedding band that I'm playing with tomorrow, I've played with them off and on for a couple years now, and they have kind of an interesting format where they play a lot of the songs that you would expect to play at a wedding. There's a lot of top 40s, there's Bruno Mars, there's a lot of dance tunes, but they like to do medleys, mashups, and then weave a lot of these songs together. So it's not like play a song, take a break, play another song. It's more like play 15 to 25 songs all in a row, all with specific outros and intros and ways that they blend into each other. So I'm typically playing anywhere from like 45 minutes to an hour as a straight block. And there's somewhere between 3 and 4 hours of music in this style. So none of the actual playing is necessarily that difficult, but really being on top of it with all of the starts and stops and, intros and outros, that's really, really important. And that's what I'm trying to remember with my charts. So let's jump into one page of these charts that I'm using, and I can kind of show you what I mean. Now, I will just come out and say that my handwriting is absolutely terrible, so please don't give me a hard time about that. But first thing I'll mention is that I do all of my charts on an iPad, and I use an app here called GoodNotes. Depending on what your situation is, you might take up one entire page for one song, but in this case, because I have to play so many songs in a row and I don't have a lot of time to switch pages, I try and put as much information as I can into as small a space as possible. So you're seeing a bunch of letters here, and I'm using the letter I here to mean either intro or instrumental. And most of these are fairly intuitive. You can see V is verse, PC is pre-chorus, C is chorus, and then I've got a little number next to them just so I can remember which chorus or pre-chorus that was. You can also see that I'm just sort of like circling things and then easily deleting, and I'm using a different color. That is one of the other reasons that I like doing this digitally and doing this on the iPad, because I can very easily make a mistake and then just delete it. It also makes it very easy too, like if I make a mistake and let's say that there actually, there was something other than the pre-chorus here, I can just grab the pre-chorus, move it over, and then I could just add, something in there. And then if I don't want to do that, I can just undo it. So playing Sweet Caroline, I can see I and then HH 2 and 4. That means that this is the intro and I'm playing the hi-hat on 2 and 4. You can also see in parentheses right afterwards, 7. So I'm doing that for 7 measures, and then the verse starts. Verse 1 is 16 measures, but you can see here where it says PC, for the pre-chorus, it says ride X stick groove. I'm playing on the ride and I'm playing a cross stick groove. I also have that highlighted just so that it really pops out and I remember that. I can then see that I've got the chorus here. Now, I actually didn't write what I have to do in the chorus, and this is because I know the song well enough that I trust myself to remember what the groove is in the chorus. But if you're unfamiliar with the song, you might need to spend more time writing out what it is that you need to do. So I can see that I play the chorus for 10 measures, and then there are 2 measures of rest. This is a whole rest, and I just have that times 2. Okay, so that would just be one song. You can see that if there are other parts that I need to write out more specifically, sometimes I'll write just like little representations of sheet music. So for Proud Mary here, you can see that I'm just playing this like hi-hat and kick thing. Dun, 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 dun. So I've just got this written out there so that I can remember what it is that I'm supposed to play. Now, I just want to zoom out for a second here. None of what I'm explaining here is meant to be prescriptive. This is just my system. This has tended to work pretty well for me. You could do this, or you could do whatever makes sense for you. If you like writing out each measure, maybe that's your system. But that's kind of the beauty of charts, is it's not for anyone else. And as long as it makes sense to you, as long as you will play the song correctly, it will work. Okay, so hopefully that made sense, and if it didn't, let me know and I'm happy to clarify or go back in and do another video. But what I thought might be more helpful now would be to actually go through this process with a brand new song. I swear I'm not doing this for narcissistic reasons, but I'm gonna use one of my songs just so that I know there won't be any copyright issues with this video. But what I'm gonna do is use a song that I wrote and played all the instruments on, and what I'll do is just go through the process of exactly what I would do to learn it and then chart it out and then play it. Okay, so let's see how quickly we can chart this song. The song is called Ripcord. The artist is Little Rumor. That's a project with myself and a buddy of mine, James. And again, I wrote this song and played everything on it, so please, be gentle if you have any comments about the song. This would be my process. First of all, I just, get the iPad and get a new page here, and let's just take up the entire page. So I would first put the name of the song, and then first thing I do is just listen to the intro or the first segment of the song and see what I hear. So here we go. I hear a knocking at the door. No God's only man. I'm just not a provocateur. But I thought that we were friends. But I've heard it before. Okay, so relatively simple, just like rock song. And the first thing I heard was that we were playing a groove on the floor tom, and that this song starts right into a verse, that there's basically no intro. So the first thing I would do is I might just write V1, and then I would write above it floor tom, just to remind me that it's a floor tom groove, and then I would usually highlight that because that's an important note. So the next thing I would probably do is just count measures and see how long each section is. I also know that we're going into a chorus. I could hear that we went into a chorus, that we're gonna get on a cymbal. So let's check this out. I hear a knocking at the door. 2, no God's 3, 4, I'm just not a 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now I can tell we're going into another verse. I also know this because I wrote the song, but you could just tell by listening to it. It's not a very complicated song. It was an 8-measure chorus, and I could see that I shifted to the hats, and I might even put open hats there. Okay, so now I'm going to verse 2. Let's see if verse 2 is any different. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chorus, 8, nope, 9, 11, 12, 15, 16. Okay, so this was a double verse. It was double the length, and there was also a drum part that I needed to think about other than just playing on the floor tom. So I'm going to say verse 2, and I'm going to put floor tom up here again. But now what I'm going to do is the first 8 measures were normal, but then there's some trickery. There's a part that sort of like a 3/4. That's my best way of explaining it. Here, we can just listen to it again, and I'll write it out. and then it's back to normal. Okay, so what I might do here, there are a lot of different ways I could write this. I might say 3/4 thing. Like if I know that I'm gonna remember that, I might just write 3/4 thing and write 4 measures, and then I might literally just write normal for another 4 measures. Again, this might seem kind of cumbersome. That's a lot of words. I try and have fewer words if possible, but this I think I would remember if, you know, I already knew this song decently well, which I do. Okay, so hopefully that process was helpful. What I want to do now is just play through the entire song, and then I will leave the chart up so you can follow along looking at our chart that we made, follow along with the music, and again, hopefully that sparks something for you or is helpful in some way. So I'm going to say goodbye now. I will play the song right after this, but thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and definitely let me know if you have a method of charting that is more effective than this. I think that that's not hard to believe. I'm sure there are many better ways of charting than this. So share your tips with us, and yeah, enjoy the performance.
I hear a knocking at the door.